Good afternoon, all. I've been tasked with the responsibility of introducing the Momentum Fixed Income team's capability to you today. And I'd like to start this by telling a quick joke, just housekeeping. It's impolite not to laugh. Um, so there's 3 rooms. Each room has a bucket of water, and it also has a trash can that's burning up. An engineer enters the room, looks at the fire, looks at the water, takes the entire bucket, throws it on top of the fire and says, "I'm done here, I'm out." Very glad Rebecca's not in the room. The next room, a mathematician walks in. He looks at the fire, he looks at the bucket, looks at the fire again, he looks at the bucket, and he's like, "Why am I here? A solution already exists to this problem, I'm out." Third room, a physicist walks in, looks at the fire, looks at the bucket, takes out a piece of paper, he calculates how much water he needs to extinguish this fire, measures that quantity, drops it on the fire, doesn't waste a bit of water at all. So okay, just one point, you guys didn't laugh. I said it's rude not to laugh. The joke's over. But my point is the physicist way of thinking. That's how I'd best describe the Momentum Fixed Incomes team's investment philosophy. For us, every cent matters. We are looking to deliver consistent inflation-beating returns to our investors. However, we don't believe that the potential of every cent that we get is limited to financial returns. We believe we can use the same cent to affect the lives of real people in our society. Some of the investments that do this really well is our investments in infrastructure. When you invest in rail infrastructure, you're creating a safe and affordable way for people to get to work every day. When you're investing in affordable housing initiatives, you allow people from all walks of life to live within the cities in which they are working. When you're investing in alternative energy generation, again, you are helping the country to build a sustainable, cost-effective solution for the benefit of everyone. Just to put some numbers to it, this is the impact that one of our investee companies has had in the affordable housing space. So they have facilitated the funding and the construction of 658 buildings in the inner city across 141 suburbs in and around the inner cities in South Africa. So what that essentially means is less mothers have to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to get to work at 8 a.m. And what it also means is that people who have been forced to downgrade as a result of economic challenges still have safe spaces within our cities to live. Now, another facet of infrastructure that we are also moving up our portfolios towards is investment in digital infrastructure. Investing in data centers, tower operators, installators of fiber cables, that supports the communications industry. And obviously, we all know that this is a sector that's important for economic growth, it's important for education, and it's also important for just improving the quality of life of people that we've in our society. So we've invested alongside banks in one of the data center developers in the country, and that has essentially allowed our investors indirect access to companies that they would not be able to find in the South African market. This company rents out space to leading internet companies across the world. Not only does this have a significant diversification benefit for our portfolios, but it also has a positive impact from employment and skills development perspective. And it also has a positive community impact because these data centers are being built in neglected factory space in places like Isando. So you're essentially rejuvenating an area that's been neglected. Our investments in tower operators, that gives access to some of the leading mobile network operators across the continent and in other emerging markets. Again, a significant diversifier because you can't find that in the listed South African market. So when we think about these investments and all other investments in our portfolio, our investment philosophy remains consistent. We are valuation driven. The price that we pay is a function of the risk that we are taking on. And on top of that, it also takes into account what is our probability of a successful exit at the end of our investment period. A one-year investment is only a one-year investment if there are other investors to take you out after a year. So when we are investing in a company, we need to be confident that the quality of this company is going to improve over our investment horizon, so that there is a group of investors at the end, should we want to exit, who can take us out. Very few companies generate enough cash flows in a single year to pay off their debt obligations for the year. In constructing our portfolios, diversification is key. Not only does it allow the returns of the portfolio to be driven by uncorrelated factors, it also allows protection for the portfolio because it mitigates against tail risks when they do occur. When we measure our own performance, we measure it based on the return per unit of risk that we take on. We believe it's a mistake to look at returns on an absolute basis. You have to consider the risk that's been taken on to generate that return. You have to consider the potential drawdowns. You have to consider the volatility that you are taking on. Ray already shared the slide, but essentially we have 86 billion rand of assets under management. Our cash plus product, which is the enhanced yield, that is targeted at investors who are looking to invest for a year and less, while our credit fund, which is the Momentum Income Plus fund, that's more targeted at investors looking to invest between three years and more. And the flexible income fund would obviously accommodate investors who lie somewhere in between. So the funds in our range, they are never going to blow out the lights over any period. But what they are going to do is preserve your capital in most market environments. What they are going to do is give you returns well in excess of inflation and also above their respective benchmarks. The team that manages this portfolio has on average 13 years of experience amongst them. And also the experience base spans the banking profession, the legal profession, as well as the asset management profession, obviously. Our most experienced individual is actually our credit analyst, Nicolette. She has more than 24 years of experience. And on the lower end, we have our credit analysts, Moleboheng and Lerato, in the team as well. In terms of our process, it's collaborative in nature. We leverage the resources and the skills that we have within the Momentum Group. So the fixed income team owns the process, but we do leverage on the data origination capability that lies in the group. And what that allows us to do is position ourselves as an investor of scale in the market. And that gives us access to bespoke transactions that small managers might not be able to access. And it also enables us ongoing access with leadership teams in the private sector as well as in the public sector. Thank you.